It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels, the number one podcast in Cumming, Georgia. Guys, we have a new little thing we're going to be doing. We're calling it Whiskey Watches and Wheels Short Take, and basically this is going to be a condensed, smaller podcast. Try to keep it around 8 to 10 minutes. Mostly topics that don't necessarily fit into our normal podcast, but they're still on top of our mind. Instead of making them wait and try to squeeze them somewhere else, we figure we'll just do a second little recording with a quick little thing, and go on from there. So tonight we're going to talk about must-have features that you want in your cars. Things that you either don't have or wish you had, or cars that you're going to buy in the future, you want to make sure it has. So Kevin, kick us off, buddy. What do you got to have?
So I never had this before, and what I like is my GT3 992 has front lift and garage opener. It's based on my GPS, so my garage automatically opens up when I get to my garage. When I go to a speed bump, I hit the axle lift, and it would ask me, do you want to save this as a to raise up the front now?
Oh, that's cool.
Never had it before.
Memory.
And just a memory. All of the things and on top of that, I can program with the same home link, my exhaust to open up. There's so many, a GoPro camera to turn on, all by your dash. So, a lot of the things that we wish we had, we didn't know that they were available, and I didn't know this was available. So that's
cool.
Nice.
James, what about you, buddy? What's one for you?
Physical buttons.
Oh, you stole mine. I was going to say the same thing.
So I've been looking at Macan GTS for about 2 years. I haven't found the right one. And there's a cutoff point that I'm looking for, and it's the cutoff point where they went to the whole smooth piano key, ugly looking stuff.
Black.
I want the physical button because you know why? I don't like to take my eyes off the road.
Yeah.
I have a general idea where it is. I feel it. I touch it. I change it. I go and I drive and I don't hit somebody. Mm-hmm. Physical buttons is the number one thing for me.
And you know what? Right back to the point on my 991, I knew where everything is as I was driving. On the new computer screen, most of the time now, you have to hit a screen to get to the other screen to get to that thing when your eyes are off. Or before, I would hit I knew where all my buttons were driving.
The trend is turning back to the physical buttons, and I'm thankful for that. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And
so to your point, James, Porsche, we love Porsche, Volkswagen Group. So the last gen, the last gen GTI, they had switched and got rid of all the bolt buttons and went to haptic feedback buttons on everything, even on the steering wheel. So your steering wheel was all haptic feedback. So, and everybody in the VW community was complaining about it because every time they're driving, they're turning, the radio's going up and down. Things are, because there's no button there. And so they said that those are coming back. They're slowly starting to incorporate buttons back into the GTIs and the Jettas because so much negative feedback on that.
Sure.
Cool.
Casey, what about you, buddy?
I agree with those the buttons for sure. I love the GPS kind of remembering things too. I have two that I'll go through quickly. One, and this is a pet peeve, and I've talked to Kevin about this, but I think all cars should have the little center sun visor that comes down just over your rear view mirror.
That's actually
get blinded by that sun all the time. And it's really bothersome to me. And like my Cayenne has a little spot for it where you can see something should click in there and fold down. It doesn't have it. Apparently a lot of them got taken out of cars for some reason. I don't know. But I think that should be in every single car. The little dots that they put in the windshield is not enough. But my favorite thing is what does Porsche call it? Entry and drive. I love having my key fob attached to my seat memory, my steering wheel memory, my radio memory, the air conditioning even. And this is on a 2008 vehicle, right? So it's been around a little while. But I really like the entry, the proximity when you get close to the car or you grab the door handle, it unlocks. I love that. Never having to take a key out. I throw it in my backpack now with my wallet. I never have to dig down in my pocket. I really think the entry and drive feature, or whatever the other auto manufacturers call that, is a super cool, super convenient that everyone can utilize really without issue. And that's probably my favorite one.
Nice.
So for me, I'm a simple guy. I don't need a ton of luxury and features. You know, we've talked about this. The guys are laughing because they know I don't need a ton of big ass screens and all this other stuff, man. I want a wheel.
I just want a seatbelt.
I want a seatbelt. You know, depending on where I'm at, many of that. But I want a wheel. I want a manual transmission and a good seat. But along with that good seat, I want heated and cooled seats. I'm in Florida.
Boom.
It's hot.
That's pretty uppity.
I want, listen, man, I want cold nuts. It's hot. You know, I want, you know, so I need heated and cooled seats. My 911 and my Ram both have heated seats. And listen, heated seats are great. You have a long day. You're tired. Your back's a little, you know, tired. You know, I'll put it on even when it's 100 degrees outside. But my wife's car has the cooled seats as well. And oh, there's nothing better when it's 1,000 degrees outside to have that cool coming up your butt crack. Oh yeah, bring it on.
Oh yeah.
So heated and cooled seats are mine. I can deal with pretty much anything else.
Well, I'm going to add to that. I'm going to do plus steering wheel heat.
Oh yeah, because my
heated and cooled seats plus the steering wheel heat.
We're turning so bougie over here.
Well, my Ram's got a heated steering wheel, but my 911 doesn't. But yeah.
So the other thing I like is the radars on the mirrors, the driver mirrors, because you can just
the blind spot.
The blind spot. That's a cool feature.
That's excellent.
And
yeah,
the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control. Set it, forget it, and
game changer.
It breaks. Yeah. That is for some, especially Casey, I'm sure. Like driving on the freeway, you set it at say 80 miles per hour, even though you're not gonna, like in our traffic, we're not gonna hit 80. But at least it's gonna, and then it will speed up. That is such a game changer for me.
Or in traffic, when you're sitting in traffic at 30 miles an hour, you can use the adaptive to just putz along without worrying about it.
Yeah, none of my cars have that. I do think that that would be nice to try. That's pretty, as you said, Kevin, bougie. And I you know, that'll have to be the next car to get that sort of technology in it. But I do think that's cool.
Yeah. I'm going to go here real quick. Go ahead, Matt. Do you have something?
No, I don't have any more. So that you go ahead, please.
Oh, I do. Right under physical buttons, I have the adaptive headlights.
I love adaptive
headlights. When they turn?
That's good.
Yes, they turn. So when you drive at night and you go and make a right-hand turn, the lights follow you and light up the path. Those are game changer, and it's a great safety feature, just like your blind spot.
I think that on our 958 and the 957, it's not adaptive as in the headlights don't turn. It's just got the extra bulb that are at 90 degrees.
However you want to execute, it still does the same thing.
It is shocking how helpful that is, especially if you have tinted windows. And it is.
You just turned 40, pal. Just wait.
It's something that you would never think is worth a shit until you're in the car at night and you make or left or right hand turn, it doesn't matter. Just make a turn and that beam comes on. You're like, holy shit, I'm not guessing where I'm going now. I know exactly where I'm going.
So speaking about headlights, then how about the headlights that are turned bright? I drive through the country every weekend. I put my bright lights on.
Adaptive high beams.
Yeah.
Yep. And a car comes, turns it off. Comes in, I just drive and turns it on, off, off. And mine does it nice and like slow, and then it turns it off.
Nice. I love the idea. But the execution on the Macan, at least my generation, it'll turn off. Your brights will turn off if you see a headlight or a reflection off of a sign. So that kind of drives me nuts. But it's a good feature. Just needs a little bit more refinement.
Yeah, the 958 Cayenne, Ashley's has that on there. I like it, but you're right. Any bright light at all, a reflection, a bright like neon sign on the side of the road, we'll turn it off, and that's kind of annoying. But I think in general, as you said, it's a super cool feature, especially out in the country where you're just trying to go, and then some random dude pops up over the hill.
I want to be able to see the deer.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah.
So there's the must-haves and the wants that we have, but I tell you what, I've got 2 overrated.
So do I. I have one.
Right.
So
okay. So overrated, sunroof, useless. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Don't need it.
Agree.
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I use my sunroof all the time, even then I love
That's
it.
fine.
It's so
I
fucking
do.
course
loud.
you
I do. I use it all. Even Saturday, I was
Oh.
I was doing 80 down the 417 with my sunroof open and windows down. So I use
No.
my sunroof a lot.
I
So
bet he
we
was
can
listening to that
disagree.
song,
It's all good.
Wham, right? You
no,
listening to
actually, I
Wham?
was not listening to Wham. Wait, I was listening to "Take on Me" by Aha. So,
Okay, fair enough.
Same.
And then the last thing, Bluetooth is shit.
How
Interesting.
about aux cord?
We need
Nobody
it.
used that in.
We need it, but we need it improved.
Yeah.
It just
Interesting.
doesn't work.
Okay.
Interesting.
so
Matt?
I will tell you my thing that I think is the dumbest thing ever. Not puddle lights. I'm okay with puddle lights. I have them on my Ram. You know, the freaking the puddle light with the Mercedes logo or the Porsche logo or the logo puddle lights. I think is the dumbest thing in the world. I don't get it. I don't understand
Vanity.
it. Just you're right. Just put a regular light. I mean, I like the idea. I open my Ram, the light comes on. I can see what's around me. That I get. I'm fine with that. But the themed ones, I just it does nothing for me.
Porsche has the Manti one.
See,
Does it?
Yep.
I was like, well, I've never had that. I was like, I thought you were talking about the Mercedes, like the light up on the Mercedes on the grill. They always
No.
put them on the cheap
When
Mercedes.
you open the door and it
I
shows
know
the
what you're
Mercedes
talking about.
logo on the
Yeah.
fucking
Yep.
ground, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know
Yeah.
what I'm driving. I don't need a fucking Mercedes symbol on the ground.
Kevin's just sitting there opening and closing the door.
Yeah,
Check
he's
I
like,
said,
oh, this is so
this
cool.
is
Check
pretty
this
neat.
out.
Yes.
So my overrated that I've only driven one vehicle with it and I hated it and turned it off. Lane departure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm
If
with
you're
you.
gonna fucking if the
Use
car's
your
gonna not,
blinkers, Casey.
yeah, exactly. But if you're having to drive the car yourself, then I imagine that your eyes are open and you can see the stripes and the yellow. And if you're veering outside, maybe you need to pull over. But the lane departure is super annoying because at least the vehicle I was in, you could just be like getting
It's
close.
required on. You know who's
Yeah.
invented that though? BMW. I think they invented that because they never used their blinkers.
Well,
So.
there's
true, and
there's
they're
the
all
ones
fucking-
No joke. Amen
right,
to
but
that.
there's the ones that will give you the
James.
warning as far as shake the wheel, right?
Yeah.
fucking
But then
annoying.
there's the other ones that will correct you, and you're like,
My Ford does that.
Dude, my Ram does that. I can legit sit there and I mean, you look like a fucking ping pong ball, but the thing will go bing, bing, bing. You know, so it's kind of crazy.
Well, we would
that
love to hear
didn't
what
sound
you
like
guys
a ping
have.
pong ball at all.
Like, please let us know what you guys have. What's your must-haves? I
Yeah.
think.
What do you guys want to have in
Yeah, or
your
can't
features?
live without, or the ones that you hate. So
And
the
the
ones that you
overrated,
don't.
yeah.
Yep. So, all right, guys. Well, this was our short take on what your must-have features. Hope you guys like it. If you do, please let us know, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right. All right.
See ya.
Later, guys.